Perfect. Okay. So just as like a quick overview, we're just going to go over like some of what we learned at Summit. Obviously you can't fit 3 days of information into a 45-minute call or however long this is. And just know that like you truly cannot replicate the experience of being at Summit. Like, and I mean, Sophie and Lexi and Christina can all speak to that too. Like nothing can ever beat that experience. And like, that's why obviously we're not going to share all of the information, because there is like a value to being there in person and being live. So remember the tickets for $125, which is like absurdly cheap, you guys. Like you get to hear from Rachel. Like we heard from Rachel Hollis. Like I'm sure there'll be someone just as good next year, and you can't go to one day of like any of their like conferences for that cheap. Like that's insane. And there's such like a return on investment in your business. Like you help 2 people get started with a challenge pack, and you've pretty much paid for your ticket. And like the amount of eyes that you have watching that, like the amount of tools that you come back with, like to work on your business with, are truly priceless, and it's a tax write-off. So winning on all the fronts. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just so we can kind of like stay on topic and everything. Sorry, I have too many things open. There we go. So we are just going to go ahead and hop in. I wanted to start off first with the announcements, because you guys, this is insane how many announcements there are. So first things first, I wanted to say Collagen is live, you guys, online already. So on teambeachbuddy.com, you can already go. You can order that collagen. I know we all got our collagen like at the core at Summit. The collagen is something that like I would say 75% of my challengers are already drinking, but they're drinking other brands. Like they're drinking Vital Proteins or Ancient Nutrition, or I don't know, whatever the name is, or something from Target or whatever. And like, this is such an easy way to like upsell them and get that extra volume, like get that extra commission and help them on something like they're already using. Excuse me. And if they're not already using collagen, it has so many benefits for like your hair, your skin, your nails. Collagen is really good to help like repair gut health, things like that. And it's super affordable. Like it's very competitively priced with like what's already on the market. So that's just like a bonus. Coming in, what they say, end of September, early October, there'll be pumpkin spice Shakeology. I'm not going to share like all the dates and details and stuff, because you guys have access to the same FAQ that I do, and you can go look that up. Peppermint mocha Shakeology will be coming in November, along with, I believe it's chocolate almond vegan beach bars, which means that they won't have that whey protein. They'll be like a pea, probably like chia sort of blend of protein in it. The 6-week program, The Work, will come out in the end of September. That will take us through the new year. Bar Blend will launch in January. We are expanding to France in 2020, and then like Spain, Italy, Germany, those countries will be following not far after. And then something super huge that you guys should have all gotten your email about today. Anyone who is an active coach got 3 promo codes. So if you have a spouse signed up or you have your mom signed up, you got 3 promo codes in their accounts as well. So like Alex got 3 promo codes. I got 3 promo codes in my first account and my second account. And those are all good for $10 off of a challenge pack. And I believe that they're not able to be used on things that are like already on sale. So I believe because Morning Meltdown is $20.
No, you can use it.
You can?
Yeah, my challenger used it today. I wasn't sure, but I told her to try and it worked.
Oh, awesome. I thought, okay, perfect. So I thought someone said you couldn't use them. So that's good to know. Yep. So that means they'd get $30 off Morning Meltdown. The way that I plan on using promo codes is I'm not going to do like every single person I talk to, like, oh, by the way, you get an extra $10 off. I'm going to like have those promo codes kind of in my back pocket, and I'm going to use those to follow up right now with the people who like have told me no in the past over like price objections, or have been kind of on the fence, or if I'm talking to someone now and they're kind of on the fence about it, like I'm going to use that to kind of get them over that hump, and use them to that advantage, because otherwise it's like some people are fine paying full price. Like they understand that, they see the value in it. So it's like, why give them a promo code if they're okay with it already? And then also the Succeed Together. So I shared that little tracker that we can use in our page just as like a way to like all strive to help at least 3 people this month. Helping 3 people a month is really going to help you like continue to move your business forward, because that's what it compounds on. And if you share, actually, I don't think it'll show you if I'm sharing my screen right now, but if you look at Carl's story, and like those of you who are at Summit, I have made like a name list, for people who are signing up with Morning Meltdown tomorrow. You guys, I already have 3 people who have completed like the pre-order form that I will be sending a link to right away in the morning to get set up with Morning Meltdown as a customer. So if you're doing that name list, that it's like your July Balance Bootcamp, or like my Commit to 100 or my B100 Tribe or whatever, and you're putting their names on that name list, like 1 through 3, 1 through 5, however many people you're aiming to get started on their health journey this month. If you do that and you're posting it in your Instagram stories, you're tagging Carl and you're doing the hashtag Succeed Together, Carl's picking 10 people per day. They will verify that that person did in fact sign up. He'll pick 10 people per day and send them a $100 bill and a signed picture frame, all that sort of stuff. So super, super cool.
And is that, it's okay if it's in your stories? I wasn't sure if it had to be an actual post or if stories were okay.
Stories are okay. You do have to have like a public account, obviously, for him to see it, which you guys all do, but yeah. Awesome. So let's get into some Summit takeaways. And like I said, all these announcements, you guys, if you log into your Coach Online office, they're all under like breaking news. The FAQs are there. The information is all there. So if you have any questions about anything, you're not sure on a date or whatever, cost or anything like that, definitely go look at that. And then just as another quick reminder, we are still running that Morning Madness free group. So if anybody, the free group portion of it's kind of over, but now we're doing more of like a Snoop group for Morning Meltdown. So if anyone has anyone who's interested in learning more, like ride the Beachbody wave. Like you'll hear people say that all the time, you guys, but like I shared with T20, that was my highest paycheck by like $200, like more than I had ever earned before. And like, I fully plan on tomorrow being very successful for me as well. So if you haven't shared about it yet, it's not too late. Like you can still start talking about it tonight and get people signed up all week. We'll be running probably a separate group, at least a separate launch group, probably for the first 21 days. And then after that, we'll probably just combine people into the group, just since 100 days is super long. But just so that we can all start on it together, we'll probably do that and then combine the two after the initial month. But we'll kind of feel it out. So let me know if you guys have any questions on that. But we're going to share some takeaways from Melanie.
So Melanie Mitro spoke, and if you haven't listened to her podcast, it's really fantastic and just really geared towards coaching. And so she was great. And one of her first, what she focused on were myths that a lot of people have in the business. And the first one was that you are not, or that you're determined by, your worth is determined by your title. And you're kind of like, I'll be fulfilled when I make X amount of dollars, or when I hit like this rank, or whatever the case might be. And that is not true at all. Just because you're a coach doesn't mean that you're not as good as somebody who's higher up in the company. And there's a saying a lot of people have that's like, if you want to be a diamond, that you have to start working like you already are a diamond. And you have to put all of that time and effort in. Another myth is that you can't be successful until you have all of the answers, and everything is figure outable is a quote from Marie Forleo that is really, really popular that Melanie really loves. And it's basically saying, like, you don't have to hit all of your fitness goals or all of your nutrition goals before you get started in your coaching business. A lot of people will find that they can connect with you if you share your journey. So you're probably more approachable that way. You can be like, look, I just started, get started with me. Like, we can do this together, kind of a thing. So don't wait until you feel like you're ready, because you're ready now. You just have to get out there and do it. Myth number 3 is when people say that they need someone to motivate them. We cannot motivate people as coaches. We can provide them with the tools that they need to get going, but they need to know their why, and it has to be strong. What I wrote down that Melanie said was, you have to want to change more than you want to stay the same. It's nobody's job but theirs to do it. Like, I can't go and slap a slice of pizza out of someone's hand. They have to want to make that conscious decision to not eat that pizza, to be able to hit their goals. The fourth myth is that we get so focused on income that we forget about the impact that we are making. So we get so caught up in like trying to make, the next sale and hit SC Club that we sometimes forget about the people that we've already kind of started working with and following up on them. And it's not even so much about getting someone to sign up with us as it is like getting the messages that are like, hey, I saw your post today and it really got me to get up and go for a walk. And things like that are really impactful. You don't have to make money to change people's lives, because at the end of the day, while making money is great, we're in the business to change lives, not sell workout programs and nutrition programs. And then another quote is, what can I do to make an impact in the season I am in today? You really need to share your struggles and your down and dark seasons, because everybody experiences those type of seasons in their life. And if you are able to put kind of an impact on it and be open and honest with your followers and in your content, you're going to attract more people to you, because they're going to see more than just your highlight reel.
Okay, Rachel Hollis. I'm really glad I get to talk about this one, because I was, like, to be honest, kind of a skeptic before I heard her speak. So I haven't read any of her books or anything. I was maybe going to get around to it, but wasn't sure. But now I'm pretty sure I'm going to read all of her books. So Rachel Hollis came and spoke to us, and there was kind of a overarching theme to what she was talking about. And a lot of it was, don't shrink yourself to make other people more comfortable. Be you, be authentic, show up in authentic ways. And so I just want to cover a few of those key points that she shared, and then one also that is not on here that I'll share at the end. But the first thing that really stuck out to me was when she said, what got you here will not get you there. I think that really struck a chord with me, just because, for a while I had been doing pretty consistent in my business, hitting, SC4, 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 finally hit SC5, doing kind of the same activities, and then slowed down a little bit. And it made me think, okay, maybe what got me there, those same activities are not necessarily going to get me to the next step. I have to do more. I have to do, better, take more action, those kinds of things. So you always kind of have to reinvent what you're doing and continue to try new things. You can't just kind of stay and stick with the status quo, or you won't grow. The next point that she made was, everything you need to know to level up exists for free right now. So all of us have access to the internet, at least when it cooperates. But, she talked about how all of this information that we need, whether it's, how to create a good post for Instagram, how to, attract people who are like you, how to even just do an effective Instagram story or poll, like anything that you want to know, it exists for free. It's just how you use it and how you take action to actually go out there and get that knowledge for yourself. which I'm going to actually jump down to the applied knowledge is power, because you can have all of this knowledge, but if you just sit there on it, that's not going to do anything. You have to actually apply that knowledge, take action. That was actually a huge theme I got from a lot of different speakers at Summit was, take action, even if it's messy, even if you're not 100% sure what you're doing, just go for it and use the knowledge and continue to gain more knowledge along the way, because it'll only make you better. You can't be afraid to fail. Celebrate along the way. This is one that I really liked when she talked about it, because you can't just celebrate the huge milestones, because you won't ever get to those milestones if you're not celebrating all the little things along the way. You really have to focus on kind of all of the little things that you're accomplishing along the way to your big goals, so that you don't lose that momentum and you don't lose that passion for what you're doing. And that you can really just, you got to acknowledge those accomplishments, and acknowledge those around you as well. I mean, there are people who are, working towards the same goals, and celebrating other people doesn't take away from what you're doing. So just continuing to acknowledge that there are small victories along the way to a big victory. And then this last one, do you want it, or are you going to keep saying that you want it? I think it's, sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's not. When people say they really want something, you can see it. If they're taking that action and they're really going for it, or if they just keep saying that they want it, but just kind of being stagnant and not really actually moving anything forward towards what they're doing or what they want to do. And then the one last one that I wanted to share that's not on this slide, but that really struck a chord with me as well, because I sometimes get caught up in my own head and, like, oh, I'm so stressed, I'm so busy, all these things. She said, if you can't handle the stress of where you are right now, you can't handle the success of where you want to be. And that was something that I was like, wow, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. So just like learning to, take all of this kind of one step at a time, learning how to manage your stress so that you can continue to move forward. Because, if you think you're busy now, when you start to become more and more successful and gain more and more traction, you're going to be even busier and you're going to have a lot more on your plate. And just knowing that, you can handle it. It's just all about your mindset. So overall, I mean, I loved Rachel Hollis. She was hilarious. She was really motivating, and, had a lot of really good nuggets. So that was what I took away from it.
I love that. So I wanted to share some of what we heard within my leadership sessions. So this year they broke it up a little bit differently. So Coach Emeralds and Rubies were in one session, Diamonds and 1 Stars were in another, and then 2 Stars and above were in another. So we got some really great leadership training. But I think some of it can really just be applicable at any point in your business. So James Clear, who is the author of Atomic Habits, spoke to us on our first day. And I honestly have not read his book yet, but I definitely want to after hearing him talk. And I mean, he talks literally about habits. So one thing he shared, he says, success is a product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime, like luck. So he shared an example about the Tour de France and how these people who are training for it, they focused on just 1% improvements each day. They did all these different studies with different pillows, different supplements, all these different things. And when you find that little margin, that's what's truly going to compound. So doing that 1% each day is going to take you a lot further than all of a sudden trying to do 25% in one day and then stopping at that. So improving that little bit each day. And I think that really applies to us. Each day, how can you learn from what you did the day before? Whether it was a message you sent, a post you did, a conversation that you had, whatever it was, what's something that you can learn from that you did yesterday? Because those are the things that are going to accrue over time. And it also made me think about the compound effect, which is so true within this business, because hitting Success Club 5 every month is going to take you a lot further than if you hit Success Club 20 one month and then you don't hit it ever again. like you're going to fall off a lot quicker and your business isn't going to compound and continue to grow the same way as if you were just consistent and like slow and steady that entire time. So doing those improvements are what's going to help you go further. And what another thing he shared is that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So you need to align your habits and your goals. And this kind of like made me think of our health and fitness. Like we talk all the time about getting in the habit of like working out, like 21 days makes a habit, just push play, like just say no to the junk food, eat those containers and stuff. But it's like, how do we apply that towards our business? Like we have to practice what we preach and apply it to another setting. So same thing. It's like if you're telling someone to push play every day, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit send on those messages because it's the same exact thing. Like you need to make that habit and you need to like continue to like carry that forward because if you're not, like you're falling short and that's where you're falling on your system. So that's why you're not hitting your goals, frankly. So like think about your business, like using that Success Club tracker and how you can use that every single day to really make a habit out of it, like more than just your workouts, like make a habit out of your business too. And another thing that I love that he shared is the Seinfeld effect. And it's actually really funny. I took a picture of his slide that had like all it said on it was the Seinfeld effect. And I sent it to Alex and he literally like recited to me what the Seinfeld effect was. And apparently it's well known, but I had no idea. So essentially the Seinfeld effect is don't break the chain. So he had challenged someone to work on their jokes and their comedy every single day for 100 days. He's like, X off every single day once you've completed it. And like every day that you do consecutively, like you're continuing the chain. But if you don't do a day, you can't X it off and you're breaking the chain. So never miss 2 days in a row. So I thought of that, like our messaging. It's understandable. Like we all have those days, like life happens and same with our workouts, because once you miss more than one day, it's like, it makes it okay. That's your new habit. And that's what starts to compound. Whereas if you just miss one day, and you get back on track quickly, it's fine. Like what you do every day is more important than what you do once in a while. So continuing that habit every single day, because that's like what's going to continue to carry your business forward. And the more that you face small fears, the more you can do that again. So that first message you send, you're like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. You can send another one. That first invite you sent, like, oh, that wasn't scary. Like, I can do that again. That first coach invite, like that first time you posted that transformation picture, like, as you do those things, they get easier. They become like that habit, that reflex. So the only way that it's really going to get easier is by continuing to practice that habit. All right, let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this Building a Brand, Not Just a Business was a speech by Ashley Molstead and Emily Faber, which is the #1 coach in the business this year and the #3 coach in the business this year. And if you don't follow them on Instagram, highly recommend because I freaking love them both. But anyway, this one I think I resonated most with just because I actually really love them and I already follow them, but also because it's something that I personally struggle with. I really have a hard time with social media and I have no idea why, because it's not like it's that hard. I just like, I don't know. I always get like stuck up and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to post. I'm just not going to post anything. So I loved this first. They basically opened with just go all in. You have to build the confidence that you need to rock your brand and your business. I love that because it's kind of like that taking messy action, which Sophie said, we heard that multiple times throughout Summit. And I was only there for a day, but I heard it multiple times. And it's so true. You just have to take messy action. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your post doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start posting because you're going to figure out what works for you and what works for your following. So then for social media, what you want to do is you want to share what's important to you and you want to share who you are because you're going to attract your tribe this way. So I think I was thinking about social media all wrong and this kind of flipped my mindset. So I am the kind of person where on my social media, I was like, okay, who are my targets this month? Like, who do I want to be on the team? Okay, I'm going to curate my posts to them. Like, what do they need to hear? But what I need to be doing is just sharing who I am and what matters to me. And then the people who should be on my tribe and who need to be with me, they're going to come follow me because they relate to me. And then I'm able to be my true self, and I'm going to create trust and credibility that way. So I thought that was a really good point. And then just the basic, one quality post per day. We're not trying to post 5 times, but we're also not trying to post only once a week. Also guilty of that before, but I'm trying to get better at it. And then they said to have bright and scroll stopping photos, because if you're just posting random things, it doesn't really make sense with what you're talking about, or if it doesn't have like a pretty filter, or it's not bright, it's just kind of dungy, people aren't even going to stop their scroll because there's so many people that we're following. You have to have something that's cute or something that's going to pop out to them and make them be like, oh, what's this picture? And then read your caption. And then in your caption, once you get their attention, you want to tell a story. So Ashley gave the example of how she was going to do a post about her and her husband's date night. And she just said something basic like, date night with the husband, went out and got tacos and margs. And then she's like, okay, no, like, that's true. It happened. That's what we did. But that's not going to like show anybody anything. That's not creating any value. It's not giving anybody any information. So instead, she edited that post and she was like, my husband and I, we've had a rough time. We almost went through a divorce. Like after we had our first baby, like we didn't think we were going to make it. And she said one thing that got us through that was having a weekly date night. So every week we get together, we go out together, we spend time together, we build that strong marriage through our date nights. And she created a much longer post, not like paragraphs, of course, but just, it was a lot more detail, and it kind of gave other people ideas. Because, like my husband and I, like we go through rough patches. That's what marriage and relationships are. But having that social media post just saying like, oh, her life's perfect, her and her husband date, versus, hey, my husband and I have had a really rough time too, and this is one thing we use to get through it. That was like mind-blowing to me. I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. So don't post just to post, create some kind of value with whatever you're posting about. And then another thing is, Emily said, what I always do before I post is I think, okay, what's my goal for today? Laugh today? Is that what I'm trying to achieve? Can I make somebody feel what I'm feeling? Emily's been through infertility, and she sometimes posts about that, and she wants other infertility warriors to feel what she's feeling and to know, like there's hope, and here's my story of hope. And then also, can I provide what they need to hear today? Like, am I able to speak to that person who just needs this message? And then finally, sharing your struggles in a helpful way. So again, it might be that you and your husband or your boyfriend were going through a rough time, and this is what you did to resolve it, and this is how it's made your life better. Or for Emily, she went through that infertility struggle and she got through it, and like how that struggle made her who she is today. So if you're going to share a struggle, which totally recommend, make sure you're spinning it in a helpful way. Not that you're lying, but just that you're saying like, hey, there's a mountain on the other side of this valley, kind of playing on Ashley's closing speech, that you're going to get through this, and this is how I did it. And then I loved this one too. My husband and I were actually talking about this in brainstorming last night, but they talked about when you're creating a brand, you want to create consistency. So you want to look for 5 things that make you you. I mean, it can be 3 things, it can be 6 things, but kind of keep it around that 5 range, because you don't want to overwhelm, but you don't want to underwhelm. So some examples are that you're a mom, you're a dog mom, you're an auntie, you love real food, you might be passionate about your faith and you share that every day. Maybe it's something as simple as you love cheetah print, so you always buy the cheetah print legging or the cheetah print headband or that cheetah print bra, and that's kind of like your signature, and you can see that throughout your feed. Or maybe it's that you're focused on self-love and body positivity, or it could just be something simple like you're obsessed with cute fitness gear and you're always showing the latest Lululemon or Fabletics or whatever. And you're going to find people who follow you specifically for that. I'm not like a big drinker, but I love that Ashley loves to drink, and I think it's hilarious. So that's one of the main reasons I follow her. I love that she cusses on her feed and in her podcast. I think it's funny. That's another reason I follow her. Like, I'm really nothing like her. We probably wouldn't be friends in real life, but I think certain parts of her personality as a fitness coach are hilarious, and that's why I follow her. It's not because I like her journey. It's just because I like her. So having these certain things, like other moms are going to probably start following me now that I'm pregnant and going to be a new mom. And, maybe I start posting about my faith more, and I'm going to get other Christians and Catholics who are very passionate about their faith and who want to follow me because of that. And then whenever you choose these 5, you just want to make sure that all of your posts, your stories, and etc., they all revolve around them, because again, like I said, that's going to help you create that consistent brand. It's going to help your audience trust you, and you're going to create your own unique and loyal following that other people don't have. And then finally, for this, you want to know what makes you relatable, and you want to capitalize on that. So again, that's just like finding those things whenever you have, like I relate to Ashley. I don't actually relate to her. I just think she's funny, but like I relate to Emily because, you know, she's been through that infertility struggle. And like, that was why I started following her, because she got pregnant. And at the time when I followed her, I hadn't gotten pregnant yet. So I was like, what did she do? Like, how did she get through this? And now, you know, she had her baby and I'm pregnant. So it's just kind of, she's relatable to me. So that's why I follow her. And then serving the people that are already at your table. This one was such a cool story. Ashley said this, I'll try to keep it short, but basically she was like, you would never have a dinner party and have 5 of your best friends over and the food's all ready to eat. You guys are sitting down at the table and then you're like, oh, hold on a second. And you go out to the street and you're like, hey, everybody, come to my dinner party, when you already have your table full and you're ready to eat. Why would you be doing that? So you need to serve the people who are already at your table. You need to serve your challengers who are already with you. You need to serve the followers who are already with you. So don't always be focused on trying to, yes, it's great to expand your network, but don't be trying to reach out and grab the people that you think you want at your dinner party. Serve the people who are already with you, and then they're going to keep coming because of who you are. And then overall, just make sure you're sharing and relating more than you're trying to sell. It's great to be posting about product launches and things that we're using, but overall, you need to show that you're a real person, and you can show the products because you're using them in your real life, not just because you want to make money off of someone.
Sorry, my husband had a question about my tank top. He couldn't figure out why the back of it was twisted, and it's intentional. He was like, this thing has been driving me crazy for 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, the back's twisted, like intentionally. I just want to go back on something that goes with what Sophie and Lexi both said about showing your struggles. And one thing that Rachel Hollis said that stood out to me so crazy was that you keep going because you knew that on the other side of hard was magnificence. And I just wanted to throw that out there. But Jade Simmons was another one of our keynote speakers, and I had no idea who the heck she was when she came on stage. I don't think any of us really knew who she was, but she was absolutely amazing. Definitely check out her Insta. She's super cool, and she's done 80-Day Obsession, so she kind of gets the whole thing. But her whole shtick is maverick mode of operation, and she had a couple really big, great key things that really stuck to me. The first was embracing endings. And that something has to move on in order for you to break into your biggest possibility. So you have to look at getting rid of everything that has ever held you back, whether it is toxic relationships in your life, if it is, you know, your self-doubt and your lack of confidence. You kind of just have to really just get rid of that and embrace the fact that that needs to end. After that, it would be re-understanding your purpose. And your purpose is not what you do. It's the things that happen in the people around you when you do what you do. So you need to prioritize your purpose on purpose and be intentional with everything that you're doing and everything you're posting. Like what Lexi said, you know, if you're posting about your struggles, you want to put a positive spin on it and put that purpose in there and not just be like, well, shit sucks. Well, yeah, shit sucks, but like things get better. Then you want to always be reinventing. You need to believe that you are never finished. We are all learning new things every day, from each other, from the people around us, through books. It's why we do personal development, because there is always room for improvement. No one is perfect and no one is finished growing and learning. And you need to boldly accept the invitation to reinvent yourself every time that invitation is presented. So she picked like 2 random people out of the audience to get on stage with her and play the piano, neither one of which have ever played the piano before. But they were ready to reinvent themselves because that opportunity presented itself. Then you need to embrace resurrection, and this kind of goes back to the embracing endings. You need to believe that parts of you must come back to life in order for you to reach your greatest heights. So you need to bring every part of yourself to every single table every time. You're not going to pick and choose who you're going to be based on the people you're around. You need to be authentically you all of the time. Like Elena said in the comments, if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one because you're not being true to yourself. And then you need to set arbitrary deadlines to evolve. You need to trust that you already have the tools in your possession. And like we've already said, everything that you need to learn how to work your business is free. Like, check out YouTube. The closer you get to all of those tools will be added the closer you get to your goal. So you need to pick a date. And she got really specific, like pick a random date and a specific time to commit to when you're going to do that. Because if you're like, oh, well, down the road, I'll do X, Y, and Z. Well, when does down the road actually happen? So pick a due date. Lexi's got a great hashtag of a diamond before due date. Like, that is her like arbitrary deadline. And it's so important to have that in mind, so when you do like break things down and you reverse engineer your goals, kind of where you need to be by when. So yeah, that was Jade.
Okay, I was trying to go to the next one. That was our last slide. I was like, it's not working. I love all of that so much. Who's going to Summit next year? Yay. Sarah, what do you think? Are you going to come to Summit?
You're on mute.
I can't figure out how to get it off of mute. Like, how the heck does this work? Yeah, I definitely am going to be going to Summit, I believe, this next year. So.
Yay!
It's going to be hotter than heck.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. We'll just run like an extra 5,000 calories during the super
And
workout.
they still won't actually be able to drink champagne and not just taste it.
Yeah.
I poured her literally this much champagne in a cup. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Yeah, I'm so excited. And I know I wish Summit happened more often. I'm also kind of glad that it doesn't because I'd be so tired. But don't forget, there's Super Saturdays. There's one in 2 weeks.
On a Friday.
Yeah, so the one in Minnesota is on Friday. Chicago, ours is on Saturday. I guess, Lexi, I don't know when yours is. But yeah, definitely check out when the Super Saturdays.
How do I find that out?
If you go in the online office and you search Super Weekend, they have an interactive map where you can enter in your city or your zip code or whatever, and it'll link up where they are or when they are and stuff. Yeah, so there's that. So don't forget about those. There's that. The other one after this will be the first weekend of November, which is super cool too. And it's just it's so fun to get to see everyone in person, you guys. You literally cannot, you can't duplicate that experience for you personally or for your business. Live events are so, so powerful. And then the last couple things I wanted to share is like I said, take full advantage, you guys, full steam ahead on this morning meltdown launch, because it can be such a game changer in your business to have a successful launch, both your income, but also maybe that's reactivating challengers who have kind of fallen off the wagon. Maybe it's getting someone brand new and whatever it is. And I know like, I mean, it's been my goal for a while to like be in a test group. Like I really want to be in a test group, but like one thing that Molly and Kate always share, they're like, being in a test group is just like having that layer of accountability and like commitment. Like you can get test group results whether you're in a test group or not. So like, let's go all in on the program, have test group results because we committed to our nutrition, we committed to our like fitness program, and like stick to our vitals. Let's be proof of the product, because honestly, at the end of the day, that's so important for people to see. And like, you should be posting transformation pictures regularly. If I click on your Instagram and I do not see a transformation picture in your last 9 pictures, like we need to rethink that. And I don't care if you have it like grid like mine, like every like 6th picture is a transformation, so that like every other they show on mine. But like at least once a week, you need to be posting a transformation picture, because like it holds you more accountable. Like during 80-day obsession, during Lift 4, during those programs, like I posted transformations every single Friday. And like, it holds me more accountable because I'm like, Thursday night, I'm like, do I really want to have this glass of wine? I'm taking a picture in the morning. Like it's so important. And whether it's like day 1 to day 10 or day 1 to day 50, or maybe it's like freaking January 2017 to now, like whatever it is, like use those transformation pictures, like utilize them. You can talk about more than just like your fitness. And like, I definitely recommend taking before pictures in multiple outfits. Like I did like 1 or 2 swimsuits. I did like leggings and a sports bra, like shorts and a sports bra, different things like that. Just so like, I mean, 100 days is a lot of transformation pictures to post, like just so you can keep things fresh. There's one lady from the test group, I think her Instagram handle is Fit Mom Tasha, and like she shared so many different ones. Like she had like a black bra and underwear, she had a swimsuit, she had one trying to fit jeans on, she had one where like she could only fit one leg of her literally one leg into a skirt, and then like by the end she could fit the skirt, like the whole skirt on, and like different things like that. Like people who couldn't button their jeans and like now they can, all these like different things. Like those are so impactful to have those different ones, because like then people aren't just gonna be like, oh, I saw this one already. So like full steam ahead, you guys. Let's blow the F up for July and for August and keep that momentum going. Remember that the Disney retreat, you need to be diamond by Thanksgiving and hold that, but like don't wait until November 1st to start pushing for that. Like if that's even a thought in your mind, like start working for that now. And hell, you can
use my hashtag if you really want to.
Yeah, like let's all hit diamond by Lexi's due date.
Everyone,
like,
November
let's
4th.
all do it. I love it. Yeah, so like I'm here to strategize with you guys on whether you need help, like where to put people. Like diamond is so simple, you guys. If you can hit emerald, you can hit diamond, and you can keep going like beyond that. And like I said, you could, like if you started now, you could literally be 1 star by then. So yeah, that. And then the last thing that I was going to say is I will be sharing a link tonight in the team page. I'm just going to like list out the times and stuff that I'm available. So if anyone wants to do a one-on-one call this week, just sign up on the form. We'll just do like 15-20 minute sessions. So they don't have to take a lot of time, but if you have any questions you need answered or just like need to chat through some things, let's hop on a call. But yeah, that's all I really have for you guys. I appreciate you hopping on. We got to take a quick picture, obviously. It's not glued to my head. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yay! Thank you for being on, friends. I will share the recording in the team page that you can tag your coaches in if they weren't able to hop on. But as always, I'm a message away. If you need anything, if you really, really need me and you want to drive to Chicago, I am accepting visitors.
That's like decently close to me. I mean, if you consider like what, 6 hours, decently close.
Not horrible.
Decently
Doable drive.
We could do it.
Road trip to see. Yeah.
Give me 1 weekend to recover. And
Except I'm leaving before like midnight.
Right? I'm like asking Alex about coming to Summit next year. And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And I was like, no, like yes or no. And he's like, I got back yesterday. Like, can you give me a second? I was like, no, I
He was
can't.
there for one day.
Well, he also like went home after that. So like he
True.
hasn't been home. So yeah. Awesome. Well, have a great rest of your night, guys. And we'll chat soon.
Bye, girls.
Bye.